Up next on the Chef Deep Dive, we were going to discuss about navigating staffing challenges, the importance of retention for kitchen teams. I would like to call upon Miss Emily, Chef Adwait, Mr. Avinash Mohan, Chef Daniel, and Chef Noel. The topic of discussion for this panel will be navigating staffing challenges, the importance of retention for kitchen teams. I would like to, just a few reminders, everyone, to put your phones on silent, all right? I would like your phones on silent, please. Judges, you have the microphone in front of you. You should just make sure just a little bit in front of your mouth. It's on and ready to go, all right? Thank you, and ready whenever you are.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So my name is Emily, and I'm the Associate Director at Genie Recruitment. So we specialize in the consumer sector, but I personally lead on the F&B and hospitality division. And I'm honored today to be joined by these amazing, talented chefs. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Avinash, and I have my own business. The company is called the Elevate Global Hospitality, and then I also run a couple of restaurants under the group name Hideout. Before that, I was working with Emar for a long period of time. I was the head of operations for Expo 2020, and that's it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noel Omamalin. I'm the man behind the brand Chef Noel Katis. So we do consultancy throughout Middle East. We have opened probably around 100 brands, homegrown brands, and we just do our $1 million dessert magic.
Hi, my name is Chef Adwait Phatak. I'm the co-founder of a restaurant called the Copper Table Bistro, located in Al Zaya City Center, Sharjah. So been in the business since 2 years. Before I was working for a group, Al Halia Group. That's about me.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Daniela. I'm from Italy, and I work for Italy. I know it's the question every person asks to me, where do you work, Italy? Where in Italy? The brand's name is Italy, so like Eat Italy. I don't know if everyone knows. I'm the executive chef. I'm in charge of UAE and Qatar.
Amazing. So I'm excited to kind of kick off with my first question. So this focuses mainly on like a typical question in terms of employees can always be tempted to move for small things. As collective chefs, what do you feel the main reason is in terms of people departing roles in the back of house?
I think the main thing that why employees move around is the job satisfaction. I mean, I'll just put it as simple words as job satisfaction. It could include multiple things. It could be the clarity of the job. It could be the compensation that they're getting. It could be there's no clear picture how they're going to grow as well. So, or it could be the work-life balance. So that's my...
Yeah, so just to give you a background, we just had the chat. My team actually is comprised of staff from the Generation Z or Z. So what I can say is what is important really is more about the quality of life they're getting out of the employment. So like you said, work-life balance, and as well making sure that they are still able to enjoy their lives as people, not just as employees. So these are the things that I believe is the most important thing for them, just to have quality life after work.
Well, there are multiple reasons, I would say. But first would be the working environment, how the staff is or the company culture is. That's very important in staff perspective. Second is money, definitely, because everybody in the UAE is for money. So that's the second most driven factor, I would say. And third will be work-life balance.
Something to add, what I'm experiencing in my brand, that the people are also very hungry, so to learn. So sometimes maybe they reject an offer in a brand that they know that in this brand they work with a lot ready-to-eat food on bread and the basis, and so they prefer to stay in one brand that way they can learn how to make everything from scratch, like the pizza dough, the pasta, and this kind of thing. So this is something that I've noticed because my company we are very open. So they tell me when someone approach them, when they approach someone, then when they want to leave. So in case I will even help them because I know someone. So they come to me and they say, "Chef, I prefer to stay here because here we do everything from scratch." So from my background, from my skills, I develop more in this brand, even if the other brand I can work less or if I get more benefit in terms of salary. So this is a point to add.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think one thing I would like to say, it's amazing that you have a culture where, people feel comfortable to do that. Because I think, naturally, unfortunately, some businesses don't have that. So that's fantastic. So my next question is a bit of a taboo topic about work-life schedule for chefs, which we actually had a nice discussion about earlier. That's not really something that we're new to. However, a lot of my clients and industry contacts have recently implemented 5-day work weeks. Have any of you implemented this? If so, what have you seen the benefits? And if you haven't, is it something you would like to do in the future? And yeah, take it from there.
Am I the only one who's...
I think Noel's the only one with a 5-day work week. But
yeah, we adopted the 5-day work week. Actually, in the beginning, it was difficult because coming from a generation where I just work, like toil the kitchen for 20 hours a day, sometimes no day off. But also I saw the value of it because now I feel more relaxed, able to create new things. So it's giving me back something that I have never seen before. So this is one of the takeaways I've seen when we do the 5-work-day week. So I have implemented in my company. So far it's going well.
Okay, cool. And I think some of my clients that have done it, they are in the QSR space. So you might think, how on earth is a QSR business doing this on a 5-day work week? Most staff, actually, you'll find, will voluntarily do longer hours to have a 5-day week. So for those guys who don't have the 5-day week, do you think there's a way operationally that you could offer longer hours?
Yeah, eventually it could be managed. Like, I'll give you my example. When I was working in France, we had 3 days off actually, but we were working 14 hours for the next 3 days. So there was a proper work-life balance, and that culture can be cultivated eventually. Here it is possible. Only thing is companies have to manage the cost, because that's a major, staff cost is a major thing, but eventually it could be possible.
Okay.
So I think the 5-day work-life balance, probably when you are a senior person in a culinary environment, it might be possible. But as a junior staff, a 5-day, I would not agree to that. Reason being, it's a skill-based job.
Yeah.
And a lot of sweat goes into becoming a chef. So I believe that sweat has to still come out to learn. I mean, I don't know, maybe there are a lot of people who will disagree with me, but I believe cooking is not about taking out your your mobile phone and checking the thing on the YouTube and saying that, oh, I know it. I mean, there's a lot of skill that goes into the picture. So when you have that skill, which has to be honed slowly, I mean, a sushi chef becomes a sushi chef. He can be called a sushi chef probably after 20 years of, slicing the sashimi and this and that. So it takes so many years. Now, can you cut down that time period and develop the skill faster? Yes, definitely. It's all up to the person. The amount of time that he puts into the kitchen and does the work will also define the quality that he is, outputting. So that's my opinion. I mean, I still feel we are a little long way away from having a 5-day week for the juniors. Seniors, probably yes. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, so next on to my next question. So a key challenge in our industry is a lot of employees tend to move jobs for minimal financial gain. It could be a few hundred dirhams here and there. So how have you guys worked on potentially incentivizing staff or maybe working on career growth plans for staff members to ensure retention?
Okay. So when it comes to retention, incentivizing is a great tool. But at the same time, I believe retaining a staff is not only about money; it's also about mentorship. I think when the person has a mentor in the place in the company he's working for, they tend to stay longer with the company because they're learning. Because I believe while you are in any work environment, if there is also learning and growth, so that is more valuable than only the compensation. Yes, compensation is important, but is it the most important thing? No, I don't think so. It's about how the person is being mentored, how what kind of knowledge he's gaining, and does he have a clarity where he will be after say 3 years or 2 years, or in the company. Definitely the person is going to stay because he's working towards something. So that aim has to be there. So I believe that aim, the clarity, and the fact that there is somebody who's going to mentor him over the years will retain the person in the company.
Actually, I will continue with what you said. That's very true. I'm just trying to recall things I've done for my team, and I think what I like what's going on now. Like, we have this panel discussion. I invited my chefs because I want them to be part of it. So I think that's part of the incentive, like getting them involved, not just getting stuck in the kitchen, and also getting them access to maybe training programs or things that is not in the contract, but you give it to them willingly because you want them to improve on themselves, or maybe they needed something that is limiting them in their skills, and you provide it to them. So it's really more than just money, but it's more of access to, I would say, information that they would need to be more skilled in the future.
I completely agree. And I think ultimately to have a brand, sometimes it's the people behind the brand that make the brand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same continuation. The employee needs to see a clear growth in the company. So what I do with my people is the day they are hired, I sit with them, mentor them a lot by working with them in the kitchen. So this is how they see a continuous career. Their career is growing, and definitely there are some incentives based on sales, which is a good tool so that the whole staff is motivated. So when they reach some targets, the sales targets, they get incentives and they are pretty much happy.
Something to add, what I notice, especially after the COVID, that some of the people, they feel a bit of instability of the market of here in UAE. So let's say there are chefs that they join some place that they get a very good offer in this place because it was like September, October, then summertime. This is a place next to the beach. So 30%, 40% of the staff has been fired. So people, I see that mostly of them or some of them, they're looking for some sort of stability. And we are very lucky because in my company, it's a very stable company that, we have this big commercial ad for them because they did not fire even one single person during the pandemic. So this is one of the reason why one of the tools that you can I using to retain some of the stuff that I really care of. So to say that here you are stable, the market can go up, it can go down, it can close for renovation, it can be an instability for something, or war, or a bubble of a real estate that will explode, pandemic, but here you are safe. So people that they're willing to looking for stability, grow a family, to choose a stable company.
Completely agree. And I think this rolls into my next question. You covered a little bit before, Adwait, but a lot of employees naturally seek progression and they kind of want transparency on what that progression would be. So how do you guys monitor or implement progression within your operations? Do you work with specific timelines, or once specific things are met, you promote? How do you guys manage that?
Okay. Yes, of course, you need to feel them motivated. So again, you organize a coaching section, cross training. There is maybe a person that works in a pizza section, and this dream is always to sharp his skill in the pastry. So again, you give him the chance during his free time to punch out during his break times, and have access to a training in a bakery, in the pastry, or even for the pastry chef to go in the bakery. So again, skills that can be culinary and not, like even with some training that the company organize, like emotional intelligence or some coaching session. So feel them always that they are growing, they are investing on themselves, and the company invest on themselves. That we care. We don't want a machine that does from day one to day 1000 only open pizza like in a factory. So uh, this is how we keep them motivated and retain them to stay with us.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel. Same, my philosophy is teaching them as much skills as possible, cross training them across all departments. Might be we see a chef who is a bit of outspoken, who can handle service. He will be in service as well, front of the house. So training them across multiple skills, that's the best way. And that helps in retention as well. Suppose tomorrow somebody leaves and that guy can fill in the service, that works. So that's a benefit to the staff as well as for the company.
So with my business, it's more of a research and development kitchen. So it's a different platform. What happens is we have a very open space kind of office where everyone can speak up and can approach me whenever they feel they need to. But we also use a HR system where it reminds me that every quarter or so often I should do I giving them a feedback. And as well, I let every one of my team members give feedback to each other. I think it's also valuable, so they know that it's not one-sided, and this way they know that they are being kept track as well on their progress, and also for them to be able to voice out what they need, which is also good because I would know better what exactly they need without me have to dig deeper. So this is one of the things that I think is valuable in making sure that you are giving them feedback and also progression in their career.
So, in my opinion, I think the growth for anybody has to be cleared or clarified right at the beginning when we are recruiting them as well. So, you have the recruitment has happened, the person is in, and then you have a timeline for induction. So, during that induction process, there has to be a growth plan that has to be planned with tangible results. So, only then the person will also be motivated to actually try and achieve that. And of course, if the person is achieving that, why not? He can be grown. Now, will those targets be easy? Maybe not. Will it be extremely difficult? Maybe not. If it is difficult, we are going to, as the chef said, we are definitely going to give them trainings. We're going to give them materials for them to work on, the skill levels, the trainings outside, the cross trainings. So I think all these things put together, as far as the person also has the clarity that where he's going to reach, the growth will also be there, and the person will be retained. Will be staying with the company for longer.
That's great. And I think I want to elaborate on something you said, Noel, about kind of the open kind of table discussion. I kind of think there's a little bit of a stigma of that can be confrontational or that's not the right way to do it. But even something we did at Genie recently is we actually had everyone create their own user manual. So how would you like to be told feedback? How would you like to communicate your thoughts and things like that? And it actually worked really well. And I think it's actually quite a cool initiative that could do with a little bit more promotion. So my next question is actually, again, sorry, Noel, directed at you. From your consulting perspective, obviously, I know you're kind of in and out of kitchens with your R&D work. What's kind of the biggest retention issue you've seen? And has that influenced the way you manage your team as well?
I think the always the thought about the grass is greener on the other side, that's always the thing. And when we step into a new kitchen, the chefs share their problems, like even personal problems. They would tell us like, is it better working with you, chef, or are there any other clients who are better off than my existing employment? And what we see as a common thing is they always think that it's always better on the other side, and they would like to get first-hand information from us. So what I always tell them is that it's a very complicated thing because you can't disclose information about your other clients. And what I have learned from it is exactly what we just discussed now, like how we provide our team members with skills that made them better, or what are they hungry for? What would motivate them better, so they won't be those chefs who keep asking what is better if the other side is better than where they are now. And this is really complicated. And so the way to navigate for us is we just listen and don't engage, because if we engage, it becomes a totally different work environment, because now they think that we are the savior, because they will be giving their CVs and then would take those CVs to other clients, which we don't want to do because it really is a conflict of interest. So for my own benefit, for my own team, I always make sure that these things don't happen, that they see our company as a company where you can grow and you can thrive and you can have a better work and life balance. So this is probably where I could get a takeaway from all the consultancy that we've been doing for many years now.
Amazing. So my next question's hopefully directed to all of you. So in terms of initiatives for positive workplace culture, we all know kitchens are stressful environments. You've got a lot of personalities in a small space. What kind of initiatives have you guys got in place for positive work culture, team kind of building? Is there anything you've done externally? Or how do you ensure that everyone communicates smoothly?
So I think in my kitchens, the work culture is very straightforward, simple. So we work as a family. So I think as far as we can work as a family, there's obviously the executive chef is the father in the family. I mean, definitely. So everything boils down to if there is any issue or any conflict of interest between two people, I mean, he's the final decision maker. So I believe having fun, having a family kind of an atmosphere is the only way in the kitchen where there are a lot of emotions flowing all around can be controlled. So I believe that's my take on that.
Actually, we do the same thing. So when I feel like my team has been through a lot, and what I do is I would organize like a yacht party maybe, or I take them out for lunch somewhere else, or we do some activities after work, and like watching movies, as simple as that. I think it's really important, like treating your team as a family, and it goes a long, long way. So yeah, this is one of the things I do. And as well, one more thing is I make sure that I always differentiate between a boss and a leader. So I would be more of a mentoring leader, someone who's nurturing, than someone who just bosses around and tell them what to do. So I would really be someone who's a leader that they can identify with, that will really keep the spirit going with the team.
Yeah, same. It's a family culture, and like I connect with them like a friend, not like a boss or something. So work with them, joke with them. So this is the best way to connect and get the maximum results out of them, efficient results. And yeah, we do like team bonding exercises, sit together, chit chat. I cook for them a lot. So these are the small things which goes way ahead.
No, it's very nice that to heard from everyone to work as a family, because it's something that you think, but you don't know if everyone share the same vision. So I'm very happy to heard from everyone. Actually, I'm coming from a family restaurant. I was working my family restaurant back to Italy, so that's why I try to put the same way how we were managing our family restaurant in Italy here. For example, I allowed music in the kitchen during the preparation, of course, not during the service. And of course, to create a very good environment. They know the guys. I give a lot of responsibility to them, a lot of freedom. If, of course, the quality of the food is respected, if the deadline is respected, if timeline, everything is respected, I give them a lot of freedom. So I don't mind how you reach this target, or how long you will take. So how long? Yes, I mind, but in which way you reach with the music, without the music? You want to have a coffee break every 2 minutes, 3 minutes, till they reach the target and the prep is done from the moment that I say that it's been done in the right way. I give all the positivity and freedom to them.
Yeah, and that's good, because I think, there's kind of an old stigmatism of leaders as you have to have everyone tight by the belt and, this is how we manage things. And I just think it really isn't the way of doing things. You kind of have to lead in a humane way, right? It kind of shows leadership in that way.
Of course, you to show the way how to make
Exactly.
it. Sometimes they not achieve, so you
Yeah.
show how to do it. Then everyone, they doing their way little by little. Yeah,
And that's perfect. And even
everyone is
like,
doing way.
yeah, letting them kind of showcase what music they like. You learn a lot about people in that way. And, generally getting to know the person and not the cog in the machine or the operation, right? No, I love that. Okay, amazing. So next question is, a client of mine recently actually implemented a few kind of like reward schemes, more kind of like focusing on pioneering monthly, specific people that are performing well, chef of the month or whatever that may be. Is that something you guys do? If you don't, is it something that you think is positive or negative in terms of highlighting specific achievers that month? Just want to get your overall opinion on that kind of reward structure.
I think it's a great tool to motivate, keep them motivated, and this is exactly what is required for the retentionship as well. Because if you have a chef of the month, any sort of incentive that is there along with that, it motivates the person on a totally different level. I mean, that must be done in every organization. I mean, on a daily basis, it could be just as simple as a pat on the back. That's it. But on a monthly basis, if there is some kind of a recognition, whether it is a certificate that is given or whether it's an incentive that is given, it's definitely going to motivate the person to a totally different level altogether. Yeah.
I haven't done anything yet where we have an employee of the month or a chef of the month, but down the line, I'm sure it's something that I definitely need to consider as well, because I know I've been giving different ways of rewarding them, but I think this is also a good thing where everyone will actually pick the best team member amongst each other. I think that would be healthy. So so they heard it now. So I think they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, in my previous company, I had started a scheme like I was leading a team of 120 chefs. So a chef who comes up with a recipe will put in that menu in the menu, and some percentage of incentive from the sales will go to that person. So that was a really rewarding for them, and that motivates them. It forces them to think outside the box, create something. So at the same time, innovation is happening and their skills are being updated.
Which one is your company? I could be billionaire by now if they give me if you give me a part of sales.
I was handling Vapiano, UAE, yeah,
Okay.
and La Brioche.
Okay, I need to Italy manager to talk with them. If they give me 1 dirham for every dish, I'll be billionaire by now. No, we do also, and especially for the employee of the month, we also add a meal, a dinner or a lunch for him and his family. So it was very nice to see the person like invite the family there and show them like you are here because I became an employee of the month. Then the person was performing great for next month of years. It's a nice incentive. We do start of the week and employee of the month I see nice motivation after the people that performs really well after that. Also the people around them because they want to get it. As I start a bit of competition, but in the right, in the positive way, not competition to sabotage each other. Because
I was silenced for a few minutes. Okay. So a lot of businesses focus on work-life balance. I know we touched on it a little bit earlier in the panel. How do you guys manage work-life balance, if that exists, in your kitchen operations?
Okay. Yeah. In general?
because the command is disaster.
Yeah, I think for me, my staff actually reminds me to switch off my computer when they're leaving, or to tell them like, chef, it's time for you to rest. Or I have one staff, she would switch off the AC or the lights just to force me to vacate my seat and rest. So yeah.
Like if the restaurant is not busy, I'll let them go early. This is one of the thing which will help them, or let's say motivate them, that okay, since we are a 6-day working week and sometimes long hours are there, so this is one initiative which I've taken, like let them go early if the restaurant is not busy.
It's a very tough question, especially for a busy restaurant. Sometimes was my sous chef was complaining that for quite 1 month, 2 months was not seeing his wife, so invite her for dinner. So at least you will see her through the wall in the kitchen. So invite her. And I'm not a good example of a work-life balance because actually my life is work. I'm in the kitchen since I was 16, so I'm not the right person. If you have some, yeah, if you have some suggestion how to balance work life, please, I'm happy to let me know.
For us, we have a strict 9-hour policy, so I think people go by that, and so yeah. And if at all somebody requires to be, somebody has to stay back, then there is definitely overtime and things like that paid. So, and that is also like there has to be a reasoning for why the overtime and why the person had to stay back. So usually, what happens is it doesn't cross that time limit. So there is definitely after that what they do is it's up to them.
Okay, next question. So leadership obviously plays a pivotal role in employee retention. I think that's a given. All of you will be different leaders in your own right. What would you say are your top ways of leadership, and how does that roll out in your business?
So I think for me, leadership is being flexible and giving the freedom of thought and creativity for the chefs. When it comes to the chefs, and when it comes to the front of the house, again, it's how they deal with the customers. There has to be a lot of weightage given to what they think a person should be handled. So as far as there is freedom, there's I mean, at the beginning when a person is being recruited, there is definitely SOPs set in place. There is definitely how we operate and what to be done, how a guest needs to be handled, of when it is the kitchen, how certain things, how recipes are there, what recipes are there, those needs to be followed. Everything is given to them. After that, if there is any innovation that is required, as a leader, I give them that flexibility of ensuring, or give them that flexibility of going beyond or thinking out of the box when it comes to creating something new. But then at the same time, they also know there is a fine thin line wherein they cannot go to the creativity to such an extent that it completely takes off the the standards that we have put in place. So I think that flexibility has to be there when it comes to the leadership. And yeah, again, it comes down to mentorship. So when you think from a mentor point of view, people kind of look up to you as not their leader, but as their mentor. So that kind of sorts out a lot of.
I think I would say I had a difficulty delegating before when I hired my first team member. And because you will always think you know better than everyone else. But over time, when you let go and you learn to trust your team, it actually works wonders because you can do more things than when you would have done it by yourself. So what I would do is give them my trust and give them that space to experiment, for them to make mistakes and correct them. And also, actually, when you start giving them that space, they would know as well when they would need you to step in to coach them or to mentor them. So that's how I lead my team. I just give them that space, give them the trust, let them do the way things that's comfortable for them. And actually, you learn something as well with how they do things. And that's really important because what you think is not always the right or the best way. But when you see how they do it and it's more efficient, then you realize this is the better way as well. So that's how I'm running my team.
Yeah, for me, it's transparency and trust. These are the two key factors necessary in a leader. And like I said, I'm a friend to them. They can come and discuss anything with me. But whenever it comes to quality and customer service, I'm a real pain in the ass for them. Sorry for saying this, but that's the truth. So they can come and discuss anything openly, no issues, trust and transparency. Yeah.
I'm really relating to him because when I was managing all-in-one restaurant, I was really micromanaging everyone. I was really it was really difficult for me to delegate. So I was overwhelming myself. But now, since I'm managing 7, you need to start to trust your team and delegate. And in the beginning, my difficult is when you start to like to think that the person will act the same as you. So this is gonna be a limit for you because you cannot expect the other people to do exactly your same decision, your same things in your same way. So as soon you just give more freedom, sometimes you'll be disappointed, but sometimes you'll be even surprised that maybe their decision gonna have a better outcome than your decision. So again, to give freedom, delegating. Of course, you made mistake as well before, so let them make mistake and learn on the way.
Yeah, I think that platform for learning is so powerful, really, isn't it? Because I think, if you like you say, if you delegate, you'll learn something new, right? And also, you don't want 25 clones of you in one kitchen, right? Because everyone has different like
I
key
wish.
skills. We would have 25 million Italies. But no, that's the thing. It's just about you're correct, having that freedom to kind of allow that person to develop in a way that they want to be, and they become their own individual in that skill set,
At
right?
one point, you have no choice because you have only 2 hands, so you have no choice anymore to.
Yeah, there becomes a point of delegation, right? And this kind of rolls into another question. So with delegation, have you guys found that really has helped with retention? Because then naturally people progress and take on more responsibility from you. Do you find that?
For me, because you're actually developing future leaders like yourself, so it's like you're, as they say, there's a term. Oh my God, I forgot this HR term where you succession plan. So they become part of your succession plan, and actually that's a good way of doing it by delegating and letting them step in your shoes later on. You never know because as you age, things are different, and I saw that. So.
Yeah, delegation is really important because that gives an employee a clear path of future, how they are going to be, how they will perform. So it's a clear path for them, and definitely it helps a lot for the organization. Yeah.
From my side, it helps a lot. I still remember the first time that the chef trusted me and they put me on the pass without to be next to me. So it really helps. You feel more responsible and more motivated that you are the one in charge. So it really helps for me to delegate, to give responsibility to the
Yeah,
team.
and it just comes down to that safe space of trust, right? And facilitating mistakes. Everyone's a human. These things happen. And then how does that person then learn from that mistake and adapt for future, right? Amazing. Well, that actually concludes all my questions. We do have some time for questions if anyone has any questions.
Good evening. So I have a question for basically for the 3 chefs who are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So for Chef Avinash, Chef Adrit, and Chef Noel, since they have opened their own companies, they are the founders of their companies, and they have worked as a chef before and as an employee before. So how rewarding it is to open up your own thing, and how different it is, and what the experience for you, particularly starting your own entrepreneurship.
So, starting your own company is a totally different ball game, I would say, because it requires a lot of grit right at the beginning, because you're actually coming out of a big comfort zone of getting, working in a corporate office, and then suddenly you come out and you are on your own, and you have to actually seek every single aspect of that business on your own. Unless and until you have truckloads of money in your kitty, that's a different story. You can hire one person for each aspect. Otherwise, it's something that you end up becoming a master of all the trade, I would say. So, as far as you can switch your mind, I mean, if as far as you're ready to, or you're flexible to kind of change your entire mindset from being an employee to somebody who's going to do every single aspect of opening a business on your own. Why? Because if you do everything on your own initially, right at the beginning when you're just setting it up, you actually learn in that process. Because as an employee, you would have kind of handled one section, or you would have kind of probably you're responsible for multiple sections, or you're responsible for a bigger chunk of business or multiple outlets. But then again, you have support system for all those hotels or all those restaurants, because be it engineering, be it purchasing, be it storekeeping, be it finance, in a system which is already there and you're working there, you have support for all these aspects. But when you open your own, you become that support for yourself initially. I mean, you do every single aspect of it on your own. So you have to be really flexible, and you have to have that mindset, or you have to actually unlearn a lot of things that you would have done as an employee, and come up with a thought process that I'm going to do all these things on my own. I'm even going to go out. I mean, being a chef, your marketing is something that is always, probably you don't even know the spelling of marketing when you're a chef. Okay, or for that matter, probably you don't even know the spelling of sales. So these kind of things, you hardly do it when you're employed somewhere. You are focused on quality, you're focused on the food, you're focused on your customer satisfaction. Yes, there are a lot of aspects which is related to the sales or the marketing, because your quality speaks for itself. But then, can you go out into the market and push your product out? That is something that you have to learn yourself. I mean, being a chef, a lot of people don't realize that you have to actually come out and do that. You have to leave your kitchens behind, and you have to come to the front of your own organization and do it. So why I'm taking that example is because I was one such guy. So I never came out in front of the camera, and I could never speak for a TikTok video or for a Instagram video. I could never do that. But then over time, I realized, I mean, it's very important for my restaurant to be successful. You have to be out there. You have to be the brand. So I ended up doing that. And today, if you ask me to do a mono act here, I can do that. So, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of unlearning in the process, and there is a lot of learning in the process when you become an employee from an employee, or a business owner. Especially when you're a chef, you need to pick up a lot of skills that you may not have imagined. You have to pick it up on the go.
I will start answering by saying, if you are the best chef, doesn't mean you will have the best business. So there's no guarantee. Sometimes chefs feel like, since they're so good at what they're doing, that they will open a business, but it doesn't work. It's because, like what has just been mentioned, that you need to really unlearn and learn new things. So same thing, what I've gone through. I'm marketing, sales, designer, branding, whatever. I learned how to open a TikTok account. I don't dance and sing, but I don't know. Also for Instagram, I started to be more visible, so you be more comfortable in the camera. So yeah, I really whatever has been spoken is something that actually, it's good that we have this actually discussion, because you realize you're not alone. This is really the reality of opening your own business. There are nights when it's really a struggle, when you feel like, wish I just had my job before, because it was more convenient. But when you look at your success, your growth, you realize it's much better having your own business, because you have grown so much that it wouldn't compete with what you were when you were an employee. So that's what I would say. That's my biggest takeaway from being a business owner.
Yeah, all both of them have correctly said. One thing I would like to add is, you have to be ready to give a lot of sacrifice in the beginning, because initially, like you said, you are the brand, you are representing everything, each aspect of it. So you have to struggle, be ready for sleepless nights, have sometimes schizophrenic ideas, whether, oh, should I do not do this. But once you dive into it, you have to go for it. It's no point of return. So that's a good thing about business.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. A round of applause for our panels, please. Thank you.